That's powerful. That's really powerful. All right, moms, I'm excited that you're here. Thank you for being here. Now, Belinda, being a visual strategist and an educator, I really wanted her to talk about art and creativity. And so let's dive into the first question. Ready, ready, ready?
Ready.
All right, awesome. How do you teach visual strategies to families?
I use Zoom, of course, online, but we just tap into first the very first drawing you ever remember as a kid. So for some people, it's drawing hearts. For some people, it's drawing like a little scene where there's a tree and a sun and some grass or a swing. One of the courses I did, someone always drew a treasure box as a kid. They always remember drawing treasure boxes. Some people, it's stars, like you learn how to make a star, or you learn how to make those snowflake looking stars. So we start out by tapping into what was drawing like for you as a child. Everyone has drawn something in their life. What is the one thing you know how to draw, whether you would rate it highly or not? It's not about being an artist. It's about using your creativity from your own hand to capture how you visualize something. So we start there. And then we go from there to looking at basic shapes that, everyone needs to kind of practice to draw. We talk a little bit about motor memory. So like riding a bicycle, doing something physical over and over again begins to build memory in your brain. So it's not about having to kill yourself with practice, but as you learn and see something, hear something in a meeting, in a classroom, at a training, in church, at a Bible study, here's some simple things you can do to get started, like just putting a keyword on the paper and putting your words in certain spaces on a piece of paper without any doodling. Then maybe you add an icon to capture that key idea. Then after you add icons and you feel comfortable with that, maybe you make a border. Then maybe you start to add banners and people and things like that. So we just start with the basics of what it feels like to draw, take away the fear, recognize that you have an innate ability to visualize and draw that in a way that helps you and your brain to learn. And we talk a little bit about the brain science around having text with the picture and how that increases your ability to remember the content that you captured. Or that while you're doodling, for example, you may actually remember more of what you hear. Even if you're doodling something not related, it helps you to focus. So there are lots of key things about using a pencil and a paper to take notes in a different way, including pictures, that helps people realize, okay, that's not like nonsense. I can do that, and actually it can be a helpful tool for me to remember, to learn, and to kind of visualize my ideas in a different way.
I like that because I didn't know until I went to college for the 5th time
All right,
that I had a learning disability.
Yes.
Right? And I always felt so dumb because I couldn't remember the images. I mean, words wouldn't stick in my head. So I was the worst speller. And this teacher goes, you have to see the word, find a picture to match the word, and then draw it. And there's a connection, it's basically what you're saying.
Yes.
And so moms, grab that. Because if your kids are having a hard time, grabbing a hold of information, breaking down what you just said could be helpful.
Yes. And also with vocabulary, there's, studies on that, having like rebus pictures, if anyone's out there that has taught before, having a picture with a new vocabulary word helps you to conceptualize it and remember it. It also can work for reading in some cases, depending on what that learning challenge might be. But any way you can engage different modalities in a way that's helpful without overload is going to always kind of give you that extra advantage or that alternative strategy. Sometimes you just need a different way of working something out. Even math problems now in school, they're asking kids to draw their solution. Well, if you're not used to even visualizing anything on paper using your own hand, that could be a whole leap, which actually makes it harder for a kid to even express themselves if they don't consider themselves to be visual. So when parents and kids realize that your brain, regardless of how you like to learn, your brain will connect information better when there's picture and a text. So you don't have to like it per se for some of our kids, and I'm an auntie, so I understand that very well. You don't have to like drawing, but just doodling and thinking through things in a different way with a picture can actually help your brain, even if you don't consider yourself a visual learner. Your brain is visual. So it's going to work whether that's not your primary go-to style or not. It's going to help your brain.